We will be playing the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the playoffs. We made the 2nd seed. They're the 7th seed. They have Jahlil Okaford, who is a monster in the post. He made the All-NBA first team. The boy put the team basically on his back this season. He is a monster on offense, so we need Rudy Gobert to be locked in. As well as they have Wilson Chandler, who is at this point in his career basically a spot-up shooter, and he is no match for Paul George. They have Nerlens Noel, who is a great defender that can run the floor both offensively and defensively. So basically what we gonna need to do is make sure that we can lock down the paint for their pick and rolls, because we know Nerlens Noel can be beautiful in the pick and roll. So Rudy Gobert gonna need to help. Miles Turner gonna need to do his thing. And on the other end, we're gonna need to put Nerlens in pick and pops, because we know that Miles Turner and David West are great jump shooters. So we're gonna need to keep them guessing with these pick and pops. As well as they have Aaron Brooks as their starting shooting guard. He is not gonna be a match for Monte Ellis, because Monte can score on anybody and Aaron Brooks is not known for defense. So Monte Ellis should be able to go off this series. I'm going to be looking to him to score a majority of our points, because that is a mismatch that I am definitely trying to exploit. Let's jump into game 1. We are currently going to have a back and forth game. We got home court advantage, so I'm making sure that at least we have home court advantage going up into the Eastern Conference Finals. The only team that's better than us is the Bulls. Paul George has dropped 20 at half. So far, so good. This is what we want to see. I'm liking what we're doing with our team. We making sure Jahlil is not the one scoring, and that's why they're down. We're making sure they get everybody else involved other than Jahlil Okafor. If Jahlil isn't scoring, we're doing our job. I'm proud of Rudy Gobert. He is locking him down, and that's all that matters. As we continue, they are trying to come back during the second half. They are giving us a slight challenge. They are cutting the lead. They actually got the game pretty close at this point. So let's jump in here and see what's going on. Right now they have Aaron Brooks. He causes an immediate turnover with Monte Ellis. That's what I was expecting, him to make some mistakes. Monte Ellis is going to constantly put pressure on him. Monte doesn't know for defense, but Aaron Brooks isn't really that effective on offense. So we tried to run that pick and roll that we've been practicing. It misses the shot, but that leads to a wide open George Hill shot. I love it. I love it. Second chance points. That's why we got Rudy Gobert. I love his talent. And once again, Aaron Brooks turning the ball over just as I expected. He was the weak link in their offense, so we're going straight at Aaron. I want Aaron to have to play Monte Ellis both offensively and defensively. You're going to have to try and score on Monte. You're going to also have to try and guard Monte. So pick your poison. I want to see what Aaron Brooks can do if he's in their starting lineup. Greg Bryant has had a great game. As we move on to game 2, we're making sure that the same result of first game happened. But as you can see, they take Aaron Brooks out of the starting lineup. They see that Aaron Brooks was ineffective the whole first game, so they decided to replace him with Hollis Thomas. So we're going to jump straight into the halftime show to see if Hollis can make a difference. Through the first quarter, the Sixers were getting to the rim at will. Greg Bryant is beautiful. I love his play style. They have a great draft pick. They got a wide open Jeremy Grant in the corner. The Sixers came out and surprised us the first quarter. We were trying to recover, but the Sixers were a little bit too much for us. Paul George had a great first quarter, as you expected. Paul George is our offensive star, so of course he's going to have a great game. We need everybody else to step up. And the Sixers is the 7th seed, so we definitely need to make sure we're outscoring them. We're not known for offense, we're known for defense, and we need that to start kicking in. So in the first half, we're getting beat by the Sixers, and our philosophy is defense. We can't get it done. So now, as the second half starts, we need to just talk. Like, we cannot lose one at home. We need every game we can get. We do not need to go to a game 7. So we do not need this series to last any longer than it needs to. So let's get these boys out of here. Jahlil tries to make a pass. That gets taken. And now he fights to the rim. That gets stopped by Rudy Gobert. That's exactly what I want to see from Rudy. Keep Jahlil pressured. I don't want to see Jahlil doing anything. Keep him under pressure. Get a one-on-one with Paul George. He's our offensive star, so I just tell him go to work, and he finds a way to get around Jeremy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Back to the basket game is becoming very great for Paul George. The Sixers throw another turnover. They're a young team. They're immature. They're going to start forcing stuff, and we get a wide open Miles Turner to knock down that free throw line elbow J. I love it. And again, you see Jahlil forcing up shots. They're a young team. They don't have a patient offense, and we leads to an easy alley-oop from my man Paulie George. We got surprised in the first half, but the second half we locked in. We have a switch that we can turn on and say we're not losing, and we did it. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. Paul George, being who he is, he put the team on his back, led us to victory. That's all you need from your star, to just say, give me the ball, get out my way, I got us. Paul George did that. Monte Ellis, the backup scorer, is showing us again that he is still a viable option, even if Hollis Thomas is on him. It doesn't matter, he's going to score. So, as we take into game 3, we're jumping right back into the halftime show again. We're making sure that we can do everything we need to do. The Sixers are at home now. Monte Ellis is going to work. They put Aaron Brooks back in the starting lineup. The Sixers don't know what they want to do with that shooting guard position, and they should have that figured out. It's playoff time. This is not time to be experimenting with your backup. They're hitting nothing but contested shots, so we're playing great defense. It's just that they're making their contested shots. We can't ask for no more, no less. It was a back and forth first half, and we are definitely playing lockdown defense, but they're making their contested shots. What more can you ask from us? They're shooting 41%. That's great. That's great defense. They're just making most of their contested shots, and we're turning the ball over. We need to turn down them turnovers. So the second half, we're getting right back into it. Pushing it up in transition. The best way is to have an easy offense is to play great defense. So we're going to just run isolation, because we know Wilson Chandler cannot stop Paul George. So we're going to give Paul George a lot of isolation, tell him to go to work. And as you can see, there's nobody that can stop this man when he going to the rim. I love what Paul George can do for this team. This is why my MyGM series is based around him. And Jahlil being Jahlil, he rolls off of Rudy and then gets another steal. You can't count the Sixers out at any time. They're trying, but they're just not ready for us. Paulie G knocks it down again. You got to keep a hand up to this guy. And now they're a young team. We're forcing turnovers because we're a great defensive team, and Paul George getting freak nasty with the rim. Let's go, Paul. And when Paul George sit down, guess who stands up? My man Ben McLemore. You know how much I love him. He can score any way possible. There's nobody that can guard him one-on-one. There's nobody that can guard Paul George. There's nobody that's guarding Ben Mackey. I'm trying to get Aaron Brooks to jump, but nope, he want to stay down. Well, stay down. You're going to get shot over. You're too small. Ben McLemore spins off Aaron Brooks and lays up Nerlens Noel. There's nobody that can stop that man going to the rim, as well as Paul George. Ben McLemore and Paul George are a great scoring combo. We like to keep them off the floor together because they both need the ball in their hand. So we decided to let them do their own thing. One in the starting lineup, one off the bench. I love that scoring option. Now we're jumping to game 4. We are up 3-0. They're on the edge of sweep, and once again they're changing the shooting guard position. They're throwing in Wayne Ellington. You knew they were not ready for this playoff series when they don't have their shooting guards situated. Aaron Brooks started 2 out of the 4 games so far, and they've just experimenting with who can work at the shooting guard position to stop Monte Ellis and or Ben McLemore. And now they get a beautiful steal, which leads to Greg Bryant in transition. This was a back and forth first quarter, just like game 2. And now we found Rudy Gobert just trailing the play. Jahlil honestly fell asleep. He ain't see Rudy Gobert, so I guess he forgot about him. Paul George pulling up in transition. Knock that down for us, Paulie. That's all we need from you. Greg Bryant gets a wide open layup, blows that, but Nerlens Noel is there to clean it up. I knew that was going to be a tough matchup for Miles Turner all series, but he was handling it pretty well. He was trying to keep Nerlens off the glass. He was doing a great job, but the Sixers were not as fast as us in transition, and Paul George was just running the floor. He was running laps around these boys. Every play, Paul George just took off. There was nobody keeping up with Paul George. I had no idea the boy was honestly that fast. He was looking like a track star. Then, like I said before, when Paul George sit down, Ben McLemore stands up. Now Ben McLemore gets to go to work. He gives it off to Grievous Vasquez, who coming off a curl. Beautiful hit for Grievous. This is why I love the team I have. Grievous can post up because he's a big point guard and nobody can guard him at that smaller guard position. And Grievous Vasquez had a great first half when he came in. And then Ben McLemore knocks down a tray ball. I love this team from the starting five to the bench. We have options and I love it. I love it. They got down big early in the first half and there was no coming back. We end up sweeping the 76ers. I loved it. I love the performance we put on. I seen some great things from Grievous Vasquez. I seen exceptional ball play from Ben McLemore. Paul George is showing us that he's ready to take over and definitely get this team to a championship. So we're going deep in this playoffs, I feel. Now we have a rematch against the Atlanta Hawks. You can look around the rest of the league to see those matchups. Chicago's number 1. The Cleveland Cavaliers started this season off terrible and they still made it to the second round of the playoffs, so we can see that the Cavaliers are hitting their stride. Let's see what they can do. While the West Coast looks stacked at the moment. Let's see what this playoffs has for us.